Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of Not Overthinking It. I'm Elizabeth, your host, and today we are talking all about how the power is within. Working through your insecurities and realizing that you are not lacking anything. I made a post, it was a sushi analogy. It said, imagine that you're talking to someone and they ask you what your favorite food is and you say sushi and they go, ew, sushi is literally so nasty. And you're like, no, it's not. It's the best food ever. Is their opinion of sushi going to change the way you think and view sushi? No, it's still going to be your favorite food regardless if one person says it's nasty or tries to question you on that. So why don't we have that same energy for ourselves when somebody questions us or says something rude to us, we, instead of internalizing that, we need to be like, no, I know who I am, you don't know me, and you don't know all sides of me, and I'm not going to internalize that and make that my new truth. That's not going to be my new narrative because I know who I am and I don't need to explain myself to anyone. And so I had a follower who commented and was like, it's easier said than done. I don't even like myself to begin with. So if someone is going to question me, I'm going to internalize that because I already agree with them. And sushi is different because, know that I love sushi and it's a great food, but I know that I don't like myself. And so that comment was kind of highly liked. Like a lot of people agreed with her or could relate to her. And so I reached out to her personally and I was just like, I would love to know, you know, your thought process and why you feel that way, because I definitely have been there and I can still get in those moods too where I'm like, I don't even know who I am. Why does any of this matter? I'm just, if somebody says I'm a piece of crap, maybe I am. Like, I don't even know. But then I also have grown so much from where I was, and I used to be in such a terrible place where I would literally look in the mirror and hate what I saw, and I would avoid, like, I remember in middle school, I was looking in the bathroom mirror at myself, but then there was a girl next to me who was gorgeous, like in my eyes, she was gorgeous. And I was just looking at her the whole time, and it was like actually physically painful to like look at myself in the mirror because I was looking at her and then me, her and then me. And it was just like, I didn't even want to look at myself. So then I stopped, and literally from that point on, I rarely looked in the mirror because it was just too painful for me, I guess. And so I know what it feels like. I know exactly what the girl that commented on my post is feeling, but I wanted her to break it down for me. And so I reached out to her, and I'm going to actually read what she said because I don't know, I'm sure like a lot of you guys can relate to this too. But she said, to be honest, I don't remember a time in my life where I even liked myself at all. As a child, I remember thinking, I hope I grow up. As I grow up, my legs will be thinner, as long as my belly. My parents never said anything to me, and my sister's physique, we never heard things from them like you're too fat or too thin. I just grew up not liking myself and didn't even question myself on that. Everyone was just so much prettier than me in my mind. I felt just different in a bad way. I grew up, started to be a woman, and my body just kept on making me feel worse and worse. But why is everyone so pretty but me? And it just never left. For example, my biggest insecurity are my eyes, and I've learned to live where every single second I spend outside in front of people thinking about my eyes, my chin, my nose. It's terrifying for me to look in someone's eyes when we speak because I've had to keep on thinking about every move I do, so maybe they won't see how horrible my eyes are, making sure they don't have time to stare at my big nose or bad skin, things I can't change because it's genetics. Every time I appear in a picture or video, I'm sure about the fact people tell themselves how glad they are that they don't look like me. And I like I said, I can so relate to this and empathize with her because I've been there, and it freaking sucks to feel that way about yourself. And I think that understanding, the first step is acknowledging that you feel that way and that it's possible to change that narrative, because I never knew that you could change parts of yourself, or I never thought that you could really change at all. Like, definitely I knew you could change physically, but then as far as mental goes, I didn't think that that was possible. So I think, one, acknowledging that the problem is there, and then two, saying, it's possible for me to change this narrative and to love myself as I am. And it's not to say that you're gonna wake up and you're all of a sudden beautiful, or that, like, external factors don't play a role, because of course they do. And I don't think social media helps in that. It's just about taking the steps every day to grow, to love yourself, because honestly, like, we are gonna be stuck with ourselves forever. So you would want to create a space within yourself where you feel safe and you feel at peace. Otherwise, life is just going to be so painful and terrible, and it's just gonna, you're gonna hate, you're gonna dread waking up in your body. But that's totally something that you can work on, as long as you want to change and realize that it's possible to, and that, like, it all starts within you. And I know when I first started my self-love journey, I kept hearing, it actually was at church that I started my healing journey. And I went to a church that is not, it doesn't identify as a Christian or Catholic. It's more of like a spiritual church where they, they love everyone. They're not like, they don't follow strict rules. It's just more about, like, the principle that everything you want is within you, and you have the power to change your life. You have the power to heal, but it starts from within. And no matter, like, how many things you get externally, it doesn't change anything if you're not right within. Like, the saying, how are you going to win if you ain't right within? It's so true. As cliche as it sounds, and as cliche as it is to say the power is within, whatever, and even I would hear that and I'd be like, what the hell does that even mean? This is just so unhelpful. Like, I don't know what that means. I don't know how to access that. But hearing it over and over, and then doing the work over time, it makes sense that basically, like I said, things can appear for you in the external world, but it's only just a band-aid if you're not happy with who you are deep down. And so I'll give an example. When I first walked on a campus my freshman year of college, that was probably when I was the most insecure. I mean, no, I take that back. I had a lot of phases of insecurity, but that was a different level of insecurity. So there was, like, the middle school insecurity, hating what I looked like, feeling like I could never be that girl, like the it girl. I was like, why is everyone but me so beautiful, so popular, so funny? Like, what do I have to offer? And why is it that I'm not liked? Or, it's not to say I didn't have friends, because I definitely did, but it was more like people had to grow to be my friend, I guess. And with guys, I was never the first pick, and with girls, it was like my friends were always just like the one that people wanted to talk to, and then I was just like their friend. And I've definitely talked about this. So that was my first kind of phase of insecurity. And then I reach high school and I'm like, oh, great. People have the liking to curvy bodies or big butts, and I am anything but that. So that's a different insecurity. My butt is too small. I refuse to wear leggings, and I never wore flip-flops, because this is like, it's just like every little thing you think about. I never wore flip-flops because I hated the way my toes looked. They were like short and stubby. I never showed my stomach because my belly button was weird, and somebody one time called it out and said that I had a weird belly button, which I I will like trail back or tie back into that, but it's it was just one comment. Then in high school, I decided to wear my hair up in a ponytail one day. Somebody commented and said I looked like a boy when I had my hair like that, so I never wore my hair in a ponytail again. And so it was just all of these noises around me, and I also struggled with acne, so that was another thing, and people would literally go up to me and be like, "You have so much acne." Like it's just things that they would point out, right? So, I feel like there's always been something that I want to change about myself, but this is where I learned that it never gets better until you work on yourself. So, example, I like my acne cleared up. And yes, great. Like it was a confidence boost for me for sure. But once it cleared up, I was like, now I'm noticing other things about me that I don't like. You know what I mean? It's like the acne was in the forefront of my insecurity, so I thought that once I get rid of that, then everything else will be amazing. Like I literally remember being like, "Oh, as soon as if only I had clear skin, if I had clear skin, then everything would be fine." But like I said, the acne goes away. I'm like, "Oh, great. Love my clear skin, but now there's this. There's this issue." And I'm like, "Oh, now I can see my under eye bags way more. Now I can see my acne scarring." You know what I mean? It's like, okay, great, you got the clear skin, but then there's something else because what? You don't accept yourself as you are. Um, Another example, I was like, "Oh my gosh, like as when I have my dream body, it's game over. I'm going to be the shit. I don't care. I'm just going to be that girl." But again, I got my quote dream body, as in like, I wanted some ab definition and I wanted a bigger butt. And I got that. And I feel great about it, but it wasn't the end all be all, and it still isn't, because then I'm like, "Oh, but then I need a bigger butt even more so." Or I'm like, "Oh, but now I need to grow my back. Why don't I have back muscles?" It's just always something. And so I think that once I was like, "No, I I'm really happy with where I'm at with my fitness journey. I'm really proud of myself, and I honestly just want to get stronger and enjoy the journey, because it's like for as long as I'm longing for something that I don't have, I'm just going to always find something that's missing." Versus if you're happy with where you are right now and what you have, then everything else is going to feel like a plus. And so, okay, where I was going with this was in college. When I first got onto campus, I saw all of these girls, stunning. It's Southern California, of course. They have their Lululemons and they have their Ray-Bans. And first day of school, my dad was there. It was move-in day. Dad, take me to the mall. I literally need to get a pair of Lululemons because I can't walk on this campus without a pair. Seriously, I was so dead serious. And he was like, "All right, but you're paying for it." And I'm like, "Yeah, I don't care. I'm going to do it." Like, it's insane the number of people that are wearing Lulus. So I get my Lulus. And then what happens? I feel better maybe for a day. And then I see people have other pairs of Lulus. So my one pair is not going to last me for my 5 days of class. So I need more Lulu, of course. So I go get more Lulu. But then I'm like, "Oh, but they're pairing their Lulus with this outfit, which is why it looks so good. So then I need that as well." And all of a sudden, I don't have enough because my mindset is coming from lack. I am getting things because I want to fill the void and think that the purchases are going to do that for me. But in reality, it was just making me more aware of other things that I didn't have. So that was a very quick realization, the Lululemon incident, where I was like, you know what? I keep buying these Lulus and they're $100 each, and I've bought in 10 pairs. I kid you not. Like, not, of course, not at one time, but it was over the year. And I was like, and I don't feel better at all. If anything, I have buyer's remorse. I feel like I wasn't using my money wisely. And yeah, I don't feel like this helps me at all. So from that point on, I didn't buy things out of I tried not to buy things from a place of lack. And instead I realized that I have the power to change within me and like be accepted as I am and not need all these physical things. And you know what else? You need to look for the proof, the external proof, because it's hard to just tell yourself without actually having that inspiration. But what really had it make sense for me was I knew so many girls. um for example, I went through sorority recruitment and I met so many girls, and every girl was wearing a uniform. They just had one outfit on. They didn't get to pick. They didn't get to, show off anything aside from their t-shirt, like the sorority t-shirt they were wearing. And yet each girl, I gave my full attention. It's not like I didn't have something to judge off of. I had to judge based off of the quality of our conversation, and rather than like the outfits, the style, the look, you know what I mean? Like obviously if there is such thing as like pretty privilege, but in that situation it was more just like, okay, let's see where we have commonality. And I noticed that I was much more engaged in the conversations and like not I don't know, I was just like not analyzing anything other than like, is this a quality conversation and can I get along with this person? And then I started seeing or meeting more and more girls who I looked up to, and I thought about, why do I look up to them? And it was never because of the things that they had. If anything, it was just about their energy and the energy they brought. And literally I would, for example, I would be like, oh, because in college I also had like bad acne. But then I would meet girls with acne who had a ton of friends, a boyfriend, and they were super sweet and nice and great. And I was like, clearly like she's not letting her acne define her and get in the way of her interactions with people, and people still like her. It's so strange to think that like people wouldn't like you because you have acne, but that's really how your mind works when you have, you know, it's just like you're self-sabotaging your mind. Like, oh, you immediately think that nobody's gonna want you because you look a certain way or you lack X, Y, and Z. But seeing that, oh, this girl can rock her acne and she's cool and I don't even notice her acne. I've literally had friends where they're like, I'm so insecure about my acne, and I'm like, wow, I like honestly never even noticed, or that's just not the first thing that I see. And that's really what confirms to me that it's all within, that it's like everyone can seemingly, everyone has something that they're insecure about, but you don't, as the outsider, you don't see that if the person is a good person. And so that, to me, I was like, how can I just be a better person on the inside, and how can I fake this confidence so that it becomes real, and that I want to exude amazing energy and make people feel good around me. And I can only do that if I feel good about myself. And I've come to the conclusion that having things and stuff and jewelry and clothes is not going to make me a better person. It's not going to make me more liked. And instead, it's the quality of the conversations that I have with people, the interactions, and the things that I can offer and help people with. So just having those like inspirations around me, all sorts of people that I admired, even online, like people that I really admired, but they had quirks to them. You know what I mean? Like they're like, if you're really dissecting it, maybe they're not the beauty standard. Maybe they're a little bit, you know, I don't know. Like there's just like so many people that prove how you feel isn't valid. Like in a good way though. It's like, oh, skinny girls don't guys don't like skinny girls. Okay, one, that's not true. I remember like really looking up to Janae Aiko because guys loved her. Not because of that, but like guys still loved her even though she's very petite and small, but she also radiated such a calming, beautiful energy. I think what it was is she radiates really womanly energy. And I didn't feel womanly because of how small I was and how much I lacked curves. That was a huge insecurity for me, especially being in a relationship with someone that I knew liked curvier people. And so that was even just like something that I needed to overcome. And there's nothing that like anyone could say to me. It was something that I needed to come to terms with on my own. But seeing her be so womanly and just radiate such confidence inspired me, and was like, and I was like, oh, I can literally do the same. I'm not missing anything. It's not like I'm like, oh, I need bigger boobs in order to feel womanly. Oh, I need a bigger butt to feel womanly. No, I can do it all within me. I just have to tap into that. So in response to the girl who's like, that I DM'd and said, my eyes are spread apart, my nose is too big, I feel insecure, like I don't want to make eye contact with people. Look for people that prove what you feel is wrong. Look for models with bigger noses. Look for people that have, your favorite content creators. What do you have in common with them? Physically, emotionally, like, you know what I mean? It's like, if you can remove yourself from like the judgment that you have for yourself and like think about people that you admire, what you admire in others, you already portray in yourself, and it's just about unlocking that. And I think that's really what it means to when they say that the power is within you. What do you feel like you're lacking? Oh, you want more confidence. It's within you. There's nothing I can give you to make you more confident. It has to be from within. And tying back into, I was insecure about my toes, I was insecure about my belly button, just little things. Now I literally could care less. I wear flip-flops, I wear my slides, I wear my bikini, I show my belly button. And guess what? They're legit the same. They didn't change. I still have short, stubby little toes. My belly button is still like a half innie, half outie, but it's just not an insecurity for me anymore, and nothing changed externally. It was just more about me being like, literally, why would I care? And as long as you rock the confidence, nobody is going to notice. And if they do, then likely that person has insecurities that they're just hiding or they're projecting onto you. And anyone that's going to point out something or try to belittle you for, or just make you not like yourself, or try to question that self-love that you have for yourself, that person seriously needs help. They 100% do. There's no way a person who fully loves themselves is going to make you question who you are and what you offer and just the quality of you as a person. There's literally a TikTok sound going around where it's like, a YouTuber with 1 million subscribers is not going to make fun of you for starting a YouTube channel with 1 subscriber. A billionaire is not going to make fun of you for taking the leap to start your own business. And it's the same concept. A person that has confidence and an abundance of self-love is not going to make fun of you for working on yourself and embracing all that you are. It's only the people that have their own insecurities, and that's frankly not your problem. And I just want to also talk about the movie. If you haven't seen it yet, I Feel Pretty with Amy Schumer. If you haven't watched it, basically it's about a girl who, like all of us, has her insecurities, doesn't feel worthy enough as she is because of how she looks. Well, she bumps her head, wakes up, looks in the mirror. The audience sees nothing has changed whatsoever. What she sees is that she's all of a sudden a glowing, beautiful model. And so she starts acting that way. But again, nothing changed at all. So we're watching this. She looks exactly the same. She's having interactions with people. They're aware of how she looks, but the way she's acting and talking about herself and just radiating confidence is showing them that like she has a lot of self-respect, and it just changes the way they treat and view her, and they're inspired by that. And she's like, they just admire the level of confidence that she has, and it all came from within because nothing happened externally. And in the end, she realized that like regardless of, she looked the same in both circumstances, but the way she felt about herself, the way she talked to herself, and then in turn the way people treated her were vastly different. And it just again goes to show that you have the power within you to change your mindset, your life, to love yourself as you are. And I want to end off with a few journal prompts because I truly believe that reflective time spent to yourself is super impactful. One, I want you to write all of the traits that you love about yourself. Physically, emotionally, mentally, there has to be something. What do you love about yourself? For me, I love how creative and passionate I am. I also love that I'm half Chinese. And just things that you know are not going to be taken away from you. And then two, I want you to write down what you want for yourself and how you want to focus on how you want to feel and how you want to feel about yourself. And try to really hone in on that feeling and write down affirmations in I am statements. So like, I am confident. I am magnetic. I am beautiful. Really get detailed on like what it is that you want to be. And then the third part, you're going to phrase the question in this way. So if confidence is what you're after, and again, if you haven't taken away anything from this, it's confidence can increase without anything on the exterior changing. But I started asking, what would it take for me to be confident? What would confidence look like on me? Show me how confident I am. And in turn, your brain is going to look for proof that what you're thinking is true or trying to answer the questions that you have. Your brain wants to help you, believe it or not. It wants to think about the questions you're asking it and try to prove to you or help you find those answers. So if you're like, what would it take to be super confident? What would it take? What would it look like? What would confidence look like on me? Then you're going to start being presented with opportunities to radiate confidence or to like practice being confident. You're going to start feeling more confident. And I also just want to end off with, I don't want to deny the fact that yes, physical appearance can make can play a role. Like, for example, me getting ready today makes me feel better, putting on my jewelry, doing my hair, touching up my makeup, you know what I mean? Like putting on an outfit that I feel really good in. I think that's also, it can be a way to manifest more of the feelings that you want. When you look good, you feel good, but don't let it play too much of a role in determining how you feel about yourself. Because I still want to be able to wake up with no makeup, in my big t-shirt, look at the mirror and still say like, yes, I love every part of me. Like I accept me in my entirety. Bedhead or not, I still accept myself and I know that I am whole and I am and putting on the outfit and the hair and the makeup only just accentuates that rather than fills any voids. Either way, I'm still whole, but it's more fun to get dressed up and it feels more exciting and helps me get into the zone a little bit more. But either way, I am still accepting of who I am. And I've said it before, but a quote or like a saying, it's kind of silly, but it really helped me. It was, these are the cards I've been dealt, and I'm going to do with that what I will. These are the cards I've been dealt. Literally, you can only change so much physical about you unless you're like getting surgery or, taking drastic measures. But these are the cards I've been dealt. There are no accidents. I don't want to get nitpicky over here and start wanting to change a bunch of things about myself, because if you're coming from a lack mindset, you'll always find something wrong and missing, regardless of if you're stunning. Think about the prettiest person in the world. They probably have so many insecurities. Everyone's going to have it. And think about the most confident person in your life. Think about that person. They 100% have flaws. But that doesn't change, that doesn't change anything like about how they feel about themselves. So I hope that this helped in any way. I hope this inspired you. Let me know. I would love to talk more on a deeper level about this, because like I said, I can so freaking relate to it and I'm still working through it, but I feel like I really understand now that the power is within. And I started challenging myself to not buy anything unless I'm in a good place. So I'm like, okay, yes, I want this outfit, but let me wait. And I don't want to be anxious when I buy it. I don't want to feel like I'm lacking. I don't want to feel like it's going to make my life better. I want to buy it because it's an accessory and it's going to like be for a healthy reason, I guess. But I'll end the episode here. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you so much for listening. Your listens and views mean so much to me. And I will see you in the next video. Bye!